going to call the meeting of the Township Supervisors for South Strabane in order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Township Board of Supervisors allocates up to 3 minutes during this item for those individuals who would like the opportunity to address the board on agenda items only. Mr. Stefanski, is there anybody?
Yes, we have a few people signed up. First up is Judy Panasic.
Judy Panasic, Green Crescent Drive. I see under new business, talking about the 7970 project. And I know I've talked to Pete about this. They got federal money, as all of you know, or government money. So they have to do an Indian dig. And I was told that that's not going to happen because they're not going down far enough, because they've just they didn't go down deep, and they just sort of pushed everything down and laid it flat so they don't have to do it. Are they not putting in gas tanks? If they're going to dig and put in gas tanks that is deep enough, I would think, to do the Indian thing. And I mean, that's talking to somebody that works for an engineering firm. And they said, yeah, they said, if they're putting in gas tanks, why would they not be digging deep enough to do the Indian? We're making other places do it. If they've done one over by Strabane Manor. There's one up that I don't even know is finished for the other project behind Speedway. What is that, Linda? Thank you, Meadows Landing, that nightmare. But I think that if we're talking about this, there's still not even a name with the warehouse club. I mean, we all have been told it's one thing, but there's nothing for sure. The way that all went down, those of you on the board know, like, nobody knew about this. It happened. Everything went in. I'm seeing here that it's saying like everything's okay, which I still, and I trust TJ, but that does not look good over there, what that's going to look like, even with Harbor Freight and how tight everything is. But if they're going to be digging and putting in gas tanks, they should have to do the Indian dig. Should be deep enough. They're not going to be putting them above ground, are they? And usually those tanks go pretty far into the ground, correct? So why would they not then have to do the dig if they're getting government money and it has never been done on that spot? And we know that it is around this area greatly. Lowe's, Pete was on that dig when they did Lowe's when he was in college. Like, that's all around this area. I think that before you guys vote on that tonight and approve that we make sure that if they're going to dig for those gas tanks, that Indian dig happens at that site. I also hope that you guys go over the fiscal year audit for 2025. I know some of you on that board are very good at looking at everything and finding what's wrong. I'm going to say some things at the end of the meeting, so I'll reserve it for that. But I just wanted to bring that up because I saw that you guys were going to have that as a motion to acknowledge that tonight. And I think that is a big deal. We've brought it up from the very beginning, and I think that still needs addressed. And same with the Meadows Landing project. Thank you.
Mr. Owen, can I ask TJ if that's required to do it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, yes.
Is it required in the situation?
Well, the engineering for the project is sitting right here beside me. So I do know that as part of this project that we require to get state permits, get the permit for stormwater management, site disturbance. As part of that, there will be a submission to the historical commission, I believe, correct? Obviously, that situation would be handled as
John Ryder, LLC.
Yeah, well.
Are we on? Hey, good to see you guys again. John Wright, LSSE, and represent 7979 Associates and Costco. That is officially signed. So they are the ones who are going to be building the warehouse club. So the PHMC, with the Historical Society, is going to be kicked over by the state. We have an active MPDS permit, and no requirement has been brought down to state to do any archaeological survey at the site that's been disturbed. So that would be our response. Yeah.
So the location for the gas tanks was moved, correct?
Yeah, as part of the new land development submittal that's coming in. Yeah.
And so
The
Putting
permit.
the tanks in and everything
Yep.
is not going
Yeah,
to.
yeah, the revised permits into the conservation district, should they pop something up and say that we have to do that, of course, everything will be followed for state regulatory, but it's not required.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Peter?
Next is Linda Rumbaugh.
Hi, Linda Rumbaugh, Burrell Drive. First, before I even start on what I wanted to talk about, I wanted to thank Mr. Bull for attending the zoning meeting last month. So we appreciated that. And he had a lot of good things to say about what was going on. So thank you, Jeff, for coming. What I wanted to talk about was the noise and dust ordinance zoning.
I was online, I wasn't here.
You were here.
You were here.
You were here.
It was the solar thing.
Yeah, you were
Oh,
here.
okay, okay.
Yeah, you were here.
There was one since then, though.
There was?
Yeah.
No.
No, there'll be one in June.
Yeah.
There'll be one in June.
The one with the Zediker Station property.
Yes, yes.
I wasn't here for that.
Yeah, you were. Anyhow, take the compliment, okay? Take
All
the
the days
credit,
go
take the
together.
compliment.
No,
Yeah, you were there. You spoke also.
no, no,
Zoning hearing.
I was not here for the zoning hearing board. I know I wasn't here. I was online.
Yeah, you were over, you were,
No,
you
I
sat back
wasn't
there.
You don't remember seeing you.
Well, I'll tell you what.
You
I
got
wish
a
there
point.
was two of me to get all the shit done every day, but there is not, trust me.
All
I
right.
was online. I was signed in as George Sand Senior.
Gee, I'm sorry, I said anything now. Anyhow, I actually wanted to talk about the noise and dust ordinance. I'm sorry, Dennis, but there was a couple things I was not real happy about in there. I went back, I actually have all three ordinances. I have the old one from 2016, I have the April one, and the new one for May. The daylight time hours on the old one was 7 to 9. And then on the April one, we changed daylight hours to be 7 to 7. And on this new one, it's changed to 8 again. I don't know about everybody else, but I think anything past 6 o'clock is evening.
And you're talking about 8 o'clock in the evening.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
That was one thing I was asking, maybe you guys could change on there. And also on,
It does say prevailing time.
it does.
It also says basically nothing during Sundays and holidays. I
No, it
believe.
doesn't say any of that on there. Yeah, the new one doesn't say anything about holidays.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it has on here 9 PM to 7 AM is prevailing time.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's
That,
mark it up and I'll take a look at it.
that was the old one, and then the new one,
7 to 8 is the new.
yeah.
Isn't light industry 7 to 7 LI?
I don't have,
I'm pretty sure, because I had problems with manifold working outside after 7. I think it's 7 to 7. It should be consistent with light industry.
we're gonna probably table it anyway, but,
Okay.
but but if you have a chance to mark it for me, I'll.
I do have it marked on here. And then on page 8, item E on here, on there, it's 7 AM to 8 PM. If you guys could probably maybe even think about changing it to 6 PM, Monday through Saturdays with holidays off. I think 7 days a week for people to be listening to construction from 7 AM to 8 PM is a long time. If we could maybe change it from 7 AM to 6 PM. I don't think it's safe for people to be on heavy equipment for that long a period of time either. So I don't know if you guys would probably maybe think about that. I'd appreciate that. And I did like page 10, where you talked about the enforcement. You added all that. So thank you. That's done very nicely there. Was happy with
Anything
that.
else with the ordinance?
No, that was
Can I
it.
have your, can I have your marked up copy?
You can.
All right,
That was all I had to say. Thank you.
just the times with sponsorship. We're trying to make something that's uniform for the whole time. Thank you.
Mike Shimko.
Hi, Mike Shimko, East Point Drive. I'm not familiar with the old
noise ordinance, but I just wanted to say thank you. I read through the copy. I appreciated the enforceability with collecting real-time continuous data and having that available to the township. I think it's pretty strong, and thank you.
So no one, you don't have a problem with the decibel limits at all?
No, they seemed more reasonable than was on the data center ordinance. I think it
the
was,
Data center incorporates this.
yeah.
And just so you're aware of it, I read 3 articles, which I gave you guys all copies today. And they deal with data centers and the impact of noise. They say even at 65 decibels. One of those reports indicates that it creates high tension, it creates high blood pressure and so forth at the boundary. So there are even though some people say that 65 is not an issue, there's 3 reports I read over the weekend that indicates that it is an issue. Okay?
Yeah, I think originally the data center had 60 or 65 dBA, and this is 45 at night and 50 during the day. So yeah, just wanted to say thank you.
Janie Deemer.
Janie Deemers at Acre Station Road. I just want to thank all the supervisors and our solicitor for doing the noise and the dust zoning. And I hope that it helps when we adopt the data center ordinance on June 9. I'm hoping that it is as strict as it can be according to law, because I believe that all of you up there are for the residents' concerns and their health issues going forward. And I'm thinking that this is very tight, but if there's any tweaking that we can do on it to make it as strict as possible under law, I would appreciate that. Thank you.
That's it, signed up.
That's all?
Yep.
Nobody online?
No.
Anybody online?
No.
No? Okay, we'll move on. The meeting minutes, a motion to approve the Board of Supervisors regular meeting on April 28th, 2026. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-0. Financial business, I need a motion for the approval of the payrolls for periods April 12th, 2026 through April 25th, 2026, and April 26th, 2026 through May 9th, 2026, and bills for the period of April 24th, 2026 through May 22nd, 2026. Do I hear a motion?
Make that motion.
Thank you. Second,
I'll second.
any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carried 4-1. Announcements and recognition. Mr. Stefanski, did you want to speak on that, please?
Yes, just wanted to make an announcement to the community. Sale of Kennywood tickets for Community Day. They will be available at the front office in the township. The cost is $32. I believe they are available now. Is that correct, Julie? So if anybody's interested, and it's also online as well, so they can check that out and come into the township building to purchase the Kennywood tickets.
Okay, thank you. Township reports and presentations, municipal storm sewer MS4 report. Is there anybody here to speak on that, or anybody online, Kristen?
No.
Okay. Township manager report?
Yep, I have a couple things, and then if need be, any other questions to defer to the township engineer. Was asked by some of the board if there was any response from the Bradford Run development regarding the punch list that was put together and sent out to them. And it was not. I did check with the township engineer, and he said the same thing. There has been no reply from Bradford Run. I do know that they were, the Washington County Conservation District was out at the site. They actually did the walkthrough with us. And DCD actually did end up finding the developer. And last I heard, they actually had sent a constable out and he signed for the information. So he does have the information. So they were able to get a hold of him. As far as the other housing developments, I know we do have an upcoming planning commission meeting where they'll be coming through to look at that. And then, so there'll be some more information based off the planning commission meeting, unless you want to add something, Kristen, for that. Okay.
Can I expand a little bit on the
Yep.
Bradford Run?
Mhm.
Back when we started following up on this one a lot more critically, we instructed the solicitor to do a little research because the property was up for sheriff's sale. Unfortunately, the portion that's of the Bradford Run development that was never, that's supposed to be part of the common areas, including the stormwater retention ponds and everything, they were never turned over to the HOA. And somebody's got some liability there. And unfortunately, if there would be a sheriff's sale and for whatever reason it would go through, those retention ponds would be sold and would not be a part of that. And Dennis, has any follow-up been done? The rumor has it that the developer sold some property and had money and was going to come make things right, but I think, you did do something to protect the township's interest, correct?
It's been a number of months ago. I mean, I have to take a look, but I know I did have communications with the owner. But let me just check. I don't have the file with me, but this is one of the situations which began prior to our new procedure regarding land development. We're now starting with Burkett Manor, we do things differently, but I'll have to pull the file out and I'll make sure, but I think there was supposed to be a sheriff's office. It didn't go through. I know I had Nancy check on that in my office, but let me pull the file and let me have someone see where we're at with terms of sheriff's sale. But I did view the site one time with, I guess, one of the HOA people. I can't remember his name. That's been a while back.
TJ, you went on a walkthrough for.
That was after he did that after, but
Yeah.
I went and looked at the properties. I even have pictures of the different issues with it.
Yeah, Mr. Karen's.
See here?
Okay.
It's unfortunately, this data center has been the main focus, but I do have your file. It's in a stack in my office, but I'll have to look to see where we're at with it.
That one needs to shuffle itself up to the top of the list.
Yeah.
The township, the taxpayers, and the residents' interests need protected there for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that, Mr. Manager, were we ever reimbursed for our winter maintenance that we did there?
I do not believe so.
Okay. If you can't pay your bill for the snow plowing, you're not going to pay any other bills.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the best records weren't kept. The money that we thought we had in reserve to cover that was not for that at all. So we need to make an effort to get that money collected and to get something needs done with that sooner than later,
I'll pull the file this week.
please.
I just wanted just two other things, just quick for the public. Attended a meeting via Zoom with Supervisor Bull, Chief Hilk, myself with PennDOT regarding the Route 19 corridor project. They do have a plan. I believe it's not slated to start till next year. Is that correct, Chief? 2028. So, but they did give us a rundown. There is information available. They do have it. They have the information posted. And then we also have the information regarding how traffic will be affected. And then there's another ongoing project that is work being done by Allison Park Contractors on State Route 18 going up past the high school. And they just gave us a thing. There is going to be a detour. They sent us some information on the detour, but the work is scheduled to start on June 8th and traffic should open back up on June 29th. And that would be at the very bottom of South Main Street and Park Avenue. So just kind of giving everybody a heads up in the community. That's it.
Thank you.
And I did make a request to PennDOT at that meeting, that unique intersection down here where the turning lanes are ass backwards from everywhere else in the United States, that it be fixed. And they kind of acted like I was from Mars, but I made my point. And Drew, I'm going to beg you to follow up on that and see if they would change that to make it like the rest of the world.
It's supposed to
I
be
have
changed.
made that request since the first meeting, which is 2020.
Yeah.
Well,
But I have submitted all the crash data to them. I have submitted my recommendation of what my recommendation is based on.
Okay.
So I can do this one, but I was the system back and stuff. So
thank you.
Thank you. Township Solicitors Report.
Did you want to say something?
I have a question for Pete about that detour.
Mhm.
Are you planning to use any township roads for that?
Yeah, and I can send it over to you. We just got the email today. You're talking about for the South Main project. Yeah, I can just give you a copy of this, TJ. So,
Correct.
yep, correct.
I'll guarantee you one thing. It goes many miles out of where it don't need to, because I've traveled that road every single day more than once. And that's not the common sense detour.
Are you done now?
I mean, okay, next to me, I guess. The office has been involved in a number of different land development issues involving Costco's and so forth, also involving preparing different ordinances like data centers, et cetera, noise and dust. But I'm just sort of curious now, since you mentioned about Route 19, there's going to be, were you part of that discussion, TJ? That's when they were mentioning before about some type of traffic light? Yeah, so the question I have is on 19, we have Bradford Run, not Bradford, Burkett Manor there. We still, has there been an HOP app applied for with?
There was some back and forth between the engineer in your office and our office, and I think they provided satisfactory documentation. I'm not confirmed it.
So there's no need, is that in writing?
That's in writing.
Do we have that?
Yes.
And does Pete have that? Because when I talk to people from liquid fuels before, they're always saying there may need to be improvements to cut. So no improvements are necessary
I thought as in writing that there's no HOP needed for that work.
for Burkett Manor.
So I'll make sure Pete has a copy of that. Yes.
Stephanie, who is our liquid fuels manager, hunted me down at the PSATS meeting and was very offended that she never got return calls on that. And so everybody understands, they're going to upgrade the traffic lights from the intersection at Oak Springs Road clear out to Racetrack Road. Were they going up the hill one, Pete? I don't remember. Or
Yeah, they're
going up one more. Okay. But all those are gonna get the latest and the greatest technology. They're gonna have Wi-Fi on them to run the lights, so adjustments can be made remotely.
And I also believe they're going to do improvements at the Oak Springs, like the shopping center intersection as well. Those traffic lights there too, I think, as well.
So now which brings me to the next issue, since PennDOT says there's no need for an HOP or not improvements. So now the question comes down about taking over that portion of that, is it called Burkett Lane or something?
Yes.
So I think that's the next issue we have to take a look at, because, it needs to be brought up to township specs in terms of surface, in terms of drainage and everything else.
Yeah, there's work that needs to be done for the developer's agreement, but that spells out procedure.
So maybe you might want to communicate with, what's the guy's name? Doesn't matter. Terry Rowe, you may want to talk to him. Okay, that's all I have, Mr. Rowe.
Okay, thank you. Township Engineers Report.
Good evening, everybody. I just have a couple quick updates to pass along here. The first, at Burkett Manor, we were contacted by Ryan Holmes to resume the sidewalk inspections. So the weather's improved. They're back to building sidewalks and driveways at Burkett, and we will have an inspector there anytime they call, just to make sure that dimensions are correct, thicknesses are correct, reinforcement is correct, slopes are correct, and so forth. So that has resumed. We also did receive a submission for a revised land development for phase 2. You may be aware of that at this point, but that will be a planning commission item in June. It's my understanding that there's some complications on the second phase of that site with the grading, in particular, some maybe coal mining that needs to take place there. So from what I understand from their engineer, they're revising certain elevations of roadways and inlets and so forth because of those issues. So that will be thoroughly reviewed by our office before the planning commission meeting next week. And then I think that will be an item that's on your agenda coming up. So I wanted to make you aware of that.
TJ, I can interrupt you. Since there's coal there, usually when you have coal, there's also possibility of having acid rock.
Yes.
Is that something we should be concerned with?
Yeah, I think the two go hand in hand. Yes. And we will make sure that their revisions to their land development take into account their geotechnical report and the recommendations there on how to handle not just the coal, but also any pyrite that they find on the site or so forth. So those things will be addressed.
And we will look at the geological reports before the houses are built, not after, correct? For change.
Yes.
Thank you.
Weren't the residents asked to sign an affidavit or something?
Hold on. I haven't heard that. I'll talk to you.
That's one of my questions, is whether we should schedule a meeting with that developer. It's been a long time since we've talked to them, and they are probably going to be moving into the second phase. And
It may be
I think we
prudent.
should
I
probably
agree.
schedule something with them. So with your permission, I'll reach out.
Yeah,
Get something
please do.
set up.
Thank you.
Okay. Second item, Meadows Landing. This item was submitted for final subdivision and land development. It was reviewed at the May Planning Commission meeting. It was tabled. It was a lengthy review by our office, and it's my understanding that their engineer is working to address the comments on that letter. So just wanted to let you know that it's tabled currently. Still needs to be recommended by Planning Commission. It'll be coming to the supervisors after that, but we're not sure when that will be. There's some changes being made. We talked about Bradford Run a little bit, but just for the record, our office has not received anything in terms of a response from the developer on that punch list that we sent. We did the site walkthrough like we discussed and had a fairly lengthy punch list of items that needed to be fixed, corrected, addressed, completed, which has not taken place yet. So that's where that stands.
TJ, didn't you say you had an affidavit you got signed off on? Bradford Run? What did you get done? Did they receive the information?
Yeah, we didn't send it. That was sent by DCD, not us. Yeah, yeah. That they had reached out and contacted. They had received all the letters. They just haven't done anything with them yet. Yeah.
Did
Okay.
they acknowledge the punch list or?
Not to my knowledge, no. I'm not sure if the township received anything, but our office did not.
No, we did not.
And then the last thing to talk about, it's another planning commission item for June, but the revised land development for the warehouse club, the Costco, is on the planning commission. So our office is reviewing that. In fact, we just issued our review letter today. So Pete will have a copy of that.
Can you send a copy certified of the punch list to them? And then you'll know they got it.
Bradford. Yeah, we'll do that. It's a good idea. And then one other thing I wanted to, Kristen and I talked briefly about this and I wanted to bring it up, but I'm not certain that this township has what would be considered a standard construction detail for roadway paving. A lot of townships have standard details for sidewalks, driveways, roadways, and so forth. The ordinances reference that there are standard drawings. But Kristen has looked, I think Pete has looked too, and we're not really finding anything of record. So
We have them.
Okay,
Yeah, because we have to follow the PennDOT standard in order
Yeah.
for them to take them over. So
Right.
whatever PennDOT is, we have, it should still be on my computer up there.
okay.
Ask Kevin.
So maybe I just didn't ask the right person.
Ask Kevin. It's a standard and we have to follow it
Okay.
in order to get liquid fuels funding for the road.
Russ, what's that book called that PennDOT uses as their Bible?
Pub 408.
What's it called?
Pub 408.
Yeah, Pub 408, I believe.
What
It's in there.
What we did at East Washington many years ago is we just adapted PennDOT standards.
Yeah, you have to in order for them
Yeah,
to take it over.
and I would think that that would override anything that the
Yeah.
township would have.
Yeah, we
and-
have it. It's in my
And
computer.
if
I
it
have.
gets, and if it gets updated from PennDOT, it's automatically, our ordinance automatically updates itself.
Yeah,
And
'cause I got it from
I
Stephanie.
would, I would recommend that we see to it that that's done. And one other thing from the planning commission. It seems like when we have people come in that they want to get things done and I think sometimes if it's not ready to come to planning commission, it's not ready to come to planning commission. And whenever we, depending on how things fall, and we get in a pickle on timing, I would like to see our director work with you and come up with a generic letter that can be had at every meeting, that the developer or whoever wants whatever fills it out at the top and signs it that they have agreed to the extension.
Mhm.
This waiting for people to do things the next day, and maybe they do it and maybe they don't, and if they don't and we don't get it, then we look bad. And just to cover everybody's butt, including everybody sitting at this table up here, that we have a standard form that they fill out right then and there before it's granted. If they're not willing to do that, there's another problem and we need to find out what that is.
For sure. It's a
Yeah,
good
so I-
suggestion. We'll make a template.
Okay.
Okay. That's all I got. Thank you all very
Thank you,
much.
sir. Under unfinished business, discussion and motion to have the solicitor proceed with the appropriate advertisement of an ordinance concerning the use of fossil fuel electric generating facilities.
This ordinance runs hand in hand with the data center ordinance. It talks about the procedures in terms of use of fossil fuels, in terms of generating electricity. It provides protection to the municipality. I do know I have a situation right now in another township where a huge data center campus is being put out there, and there's also going to be use of fossil fuels to be generating power. So this is something to take a look at. This is going to protect the township because there is issues with fossil fuels being generated. They create what they call nitrogen oxide particulates. These things are very harmful to the health. So what we're trying to do is protect the health, safety, and welfare of the residents. I suggest you review the ordinance. If you have any questions, call me about it. But this is something we're doing elsewhere with other different municipalities.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
George, I think we need to have a quick discussion about Driscoll Park. Would this be a good time to do it since it's never seemed to be finished? And
Can we finish this one first?
So we have to make
I
a
mean,
motion on
yeah,
it.
but I'd like to add that before we leave it.
Before we
Yeah.
close the.
Yeah.
We gotta make a motion on it.
We're gonna make a motion on this.
Yes. So the motion is to have the solicitor proceed. Do I hear a motion?
Yes.
Thank you, Russ.
I'll second.
Second, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-0. Okay, under unfinished business. Did you want to elaborate on that? Mr.
Yeah,
Moore?
I'd like to add an item for Driscoll Park. Several years ago, the township applied for an LSA grant, and the scope of the LSA grants changed several times. And June 12th is the deadline for everything to be in for that. And as much as I would love to see us do it for MS4 credits, And as much as it needs done to help the watershed on Country Club Road, and as much as I hate to see us back away from $150,000 grant, I have a serious fear, based on some engineering that's been done in the last 60 days, that this township will not be able to begin to complete that project the way it needs to be done and in a timely basis, and ultimately the taxpayers will end up paying the bill. So I spoke directly to the gentleman at the redevelopment authority and today, because I wanted to hear it from the horse's mouth. And he thinks that there's a severe possibility that if it doesn't happen in the town, we're going to end up paying a bill. So I would like for us to, there's nothing that says that we can't take the engineering that we've paid for. And by the way, that engineering was supposed to be bid and it was not bid, so it was not eligible for reimbursement anyway. I don't know how that happened, but it did. I would like to suggest that we have a discussion and further with the motion to consider unwinding that and us turning that money back into the redevelopment authority. And they did commit to helping us apply for a 27 grant to pick up where we left off and to get it done right. And there was another thing that come up. We're going to need to get some easements through some private property up there. And Russ was kind enough to speak earlier before the meeting. I just brought it up and about the situation of the storm drains up there. There aren't any. Is that the answer?
Pretty much everything on Wilbur up just drains out of the back of the houses into the paper street.
Yep.
It's one of the older developments that didn't even used to go all the way through. It used to be two cul-de-sacs up by the hospital, Humbert and Colonial. Then they opened that up. We actually had to tie in just with the parking lot and take a pipe down around for all the downspouts and garage drains along the little alley above Driscoll. So who knows where anything's at up there? It's not mapped. We went around with fire truck and bottles of dye, and that's how we found where they came out, because they were all under the ground. Or we couldn't have put a parking lot in without doing that.
Well,
I like what you're bringing up. My thing is it was my understanding that Kevin had ordered and had the materials on property.
no.
He has not ordered them?
No.
He doesn't have them?
I needed to verify that with him again. But when I spoke this morning, when we put the stuff out for bid, the last time this board discussed it, Pete helped me here.
Yep.
We did not get any
We
bids for
didn't-
the stone.
We did not receive any stone bids, and I held all purchase orders based off of your conversation this morning.
Okay,
So-
good.
So-
Let's start over.
Yeah. Well, anybody that knows me, and my dad said one time, he says, you know, sometimes you either don't finish things or it takes you forever to do them. And I looked at my dad, and this has probably been 45 years ago, and I said, but aren't they always done right when I'm done? He said, yep, every time. And I think that this is one of those jobs, let's get it right. And we changed engineers for a reason, and I think we need a fresh set of eyes to look at this. And I think that as much as I hate to, especially for the MS4, I'm going to make a suggestion that somebody make a motion and we just unwind this, eat the cost of the engineer and send the redevelopment authority a letter.
I'd like, would you guys, if we cut ties and start over, would Bankston,
We have to put it out, we have to put it out for bid.
Are you going
For the
to?
engineering part,
Well,
but
yeah.
they could take over the MS4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a
what
separate
I
issue.
meant.
That, yeah.
Their hands will be involved now.
Yeah,
instead of-
It's not a
Yes.
separate issue because it was an MS4 project.
It wasn't was it an MS4 project, Russ?
Yes, yeah.
Was, okay, well,
It
okay.
started out with five problems areas, and manifold, the bathtub and manifold was supposed to be first.
Yeah.
And then they found out it was gonna cost a lot more than they thought, and they moved stuff around in the last minute in order to get the grant they said, well, we can do something at Driscoll Park, so at least we can do
Okay.
something. So that's how that went. I don't think it has to go out to bid. I might be wrong. I just like to have
So do you
one
want to,
person that you talk to and you get
I
answers.
agree.
You know what I mean?
Are
Instead
you-
of chasing.
Is your firm in a position that you could take on the, okay.
Yes. Yeah, we help many municipalities with their MS4 applications. So we'd be happy to help you with whatever.
So we're.
And to the question about using grant money, in my experience,
We better talk to Carrie again. That wasn't what Carrie said.
if you're gonna use the grant money to pay for engineering, that's when you need to do an RFP to get proposals for engineering.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, I believe we were told, Pete, correct me here, that what percentage of that grant could go to pay for engineering costs?
10%.
10%. So, since we didn't put it out for bid, we could not do
We're
that.
not gonna give you.
so what are we trying to do right now?
We're trying to,
Right now, we need you to
Trying to-
develop a motion.
So you want to get rid of, you don't want to use the services of KLH.
Yeah.
Let's stop.
So you want to add to you want to add to the agenda the following motion.
Yep.
A motion to terminate the services, KLH, in terms of the MS4 program, AKA Driscoll Park, and to notify them of the same with no further payments being made to KLH for any further engineering services. That's the first motion you need to add to the agenda.
now, we have them doing other things, which we need to address too.
Are you?
But does this motion this motion needs to address just Driscoll Park, correct?
Yeah.
And MS4.
And
So
MS4.
that's what the motion
MS4.
says.
Yeah, okay, all right.
And
I
have
know,
Langston take over MS4.
Right.
So what, that's a separate issue.
Okay.
So you need
All
to make,
those in favor?
you need to add that to the agenda first. Motion to add that.
Plus, we need to make
Yep.
part of that, we send a letter to the redevelopment authority instructing them that we're going to terminate this project at this time, and we look forward to working with them on the next LSA go-around.
That could be administrative, okay? That's
Okay,
something that's,
but that needs done tomorrow.
so you need to add that to the agenda. Motion to add that to the agenda.
I'll make a motion, we add that to the agenda.
Yep. Second,
I'll second.
all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Now we have to make a motion to adopt that motion.
Make a motion to adopt
Whatever I just said before,
the motion
to terminate, so.
to terminate KLH and the Driscoll Park and MS4.
Just regurgitate what I did before, except just say make us to do
Did you write that
whatever I said.
Yeah.
Okay?
Write that motion down.
Got
Most of
that,
it, we got to
Kristen?
record it too.
Yeah.
So long.
Deleted.
All
Yep.
right. All right, she's got it on there. So just make a motion to
Ju-
do.
Just for clarification, they are going to finish the Farley project though, correct?
Have they,
At this time.
where are they at with that?
So
Well, let's take one thing at a
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Now, what other projects do we have? Farley, what's the Farley project?
Do you have an update on Farley project?
yeah, that's a PennDOT project. So they had made, there's a new request for it. So we're waiting. Mr. Bull and I are going to go and talk to the resident because PennDOT wants the homeowner to be the applicant for the HOP. Is that correct, Jeff? The the highway occupancy permit.
So this is the only project they have left?
I'm looking.
I think it was just
is.
MS4, Driscoll,
So
and
if they
then
can't-
Farley.
So it does, I don't think there's a problem just terminating on that project also.
And request a final bill us for anything that we.
Well,
Yeah.
final bill, but I think they should owe you money also.
GIS services.
That's MS4 project.
And I'm going to make a motion, or I'm going to suggest that we request all the township records that they have be returned to the township or made available for the township to pick up in both electronic and digital form.
So why don't you make this motion, add this motion to the agenda. A motion to add to the agenda to terminate any further services being rendered by KLH effective as today. And that they are to make a final bill to the township, which may be paid upon submission of all township records, either electronically, et cetera, that they have performed from the day they were hired till today, and to submit the same to the township engineer.
Yeah.
Okay? That should be someone's motion, add that to the
Motion
agenda.
to add that to the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
I'll second.
all those in, any further discussion? All those in
Yeah,
favor say.
we need to make sure that our GIS mapping and that is compatible, because this township's invested a lot of money in the GIS mapping that, with Kevin. Kevin probably needs to be, a part of this, so we're not throwing away any money that we've invested to this point. And you're familiar with all that. I know very little about it, but little I know is data's data. And do you all use the same program for that?
I imagine so, yeah. We have GIS folks on our team.
All right.
Good.
Well, I just want to be sure and we have a check for this time. I'm going to suggest that just to see to it, nobody gets forgetful in getting it done, that the check we currently have not be rendered until we have the same. Because in case there shouldn't be much of a follow-up bill, because we have that. So I think let's just hold the check that we have until we receive everything.
All right, so nope, that was part of the motion. No payments to be made until we have it. So
All right.
we had a first and second that motion, add that to the agenda.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, go ahead, George. Now you vote on the issue
Vote.
So all those in favor,
of adding that to the agenda.
I need a motion to.
No, we already have a
accept-
motion.
I thought one item was to put on the agenda, next motion
To accept,
to
it, right,
accept it,
right.
right?
Yeah,
We never
you have to make a
vote. We
motion to
never
add that to
voted.
the agenda, then you make
We
that
did
motion.
that, didn't
We
we?
put on the agenda.
We put it on the agenda.
Now we have to vote.
Now we have to vote for,
Vote on the motion itself.
Yeah.
Russ made it. Zach seconded.
right. That was for the agenda.
Yeah.
Let's add that to the agenda. That's, we have to
Right.
add that to the agenda. That's what we
Right.
just did.
Now, the motion to approve.
The
Do I
motion
hear a
had-
motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And
5-0.
Mr. Rowan, if I can interrupt also, this was not added to the agenda. We have to give the right to the public to ask, comment on that. We made a couple of motions, add things to the agenda. Does the public have any questions or comments, what we just did? All right, so note that for the record.
Under new business, motion to acknowledge that 7079 Associates activities of demolition permits, harbor freight building permits, warehouse club, and fuel station land development approval are consistent with the intent of section 245-103B, and that the conditional use approval previously granted by the Township Board of Supervisors on March 25th has not expired. Is there anybody that wants to?
Mr. Rowan, if I can just add, if you want to make that motion, I'd just like to add to that motion that there be, that a developer's agreement as prepared by the township solicitor be part of that motion in and of itself.
And to be added to this motion?
So it's going to be, so this motion is going to read the way it is, has not expired, and
Okay.
that a developer's agreement be entered into between developer and the township
Right,
pursuant to an agreement prepared by
okay.
the solicitor.
Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second it, but I'm going to have some questions before
Yeah,
we vote.
well, discussion and, sir?
All right. Hey, thank you all for having me again. Again, John Wright with LSSE. So that section of ordinance in terms of your conditional use approvals states that the developer and the owner don't have to be notified that if basically the conditional use approval could be terminated if there's not a building permit an occupancy permit or grading permit applied for within a 1-year span from the approval. Just the reality of the project over at the mall, it's taken over a year to tear down the mall. Technically, we cannot move folks from the Harbor Freight until there's an occupancy permit. So, but we have done a building permit for the thing. So that's getting closer and closer. Once the occupancy permit's there, then the second phase of the demolition of the mall goes through. Once the second phase of demolition of the mall goes through, it gets approved by Costco. If Costco takes over, they start building. They're up between 130 and 160 days. So those building permits, those occupancy permits, our grading permit is underneath our demolition permit through the county. So the county's been moving forward with the demolition of the mall the entire time. Nothing has stopped in the progress. It's just the nature of the beast is that TJ's group did their due diligence when we applied for the new land development. It kind of just slipped through everybody that that portion of it is written within that text. And since the text states that you don't have to technically notify anybody, it just slipped through. So we're just here tonight to send in the letter to request that it be considered extended and not terminated. So everything over at the mall can continue. And again, I believe that's on the 4th, right, TJ? We have the plans in front of the planning commission. TJ and our group, we're meeting tomorrow on his comment letter. So we'll have all of his comments addressed prior to the end of this week. So we walk into the planning commission with a clean letter. So you folks don't have to worry about kind of the stuff that Mr. Bull brought up earlier in terms of someone coming through. But that was the point of sending in the letter when that was found. That your crew did an excellent job, your staff, to ensure that we were notified once this was found. And we diligently, as soon as Kristen let me know, within 4 hours, we got that letter into you folks and this submittal to be on your agenda tonight. So that was just our request, just to consider it extended, because again, as it states within the ordinance, the possibility to hit those 3 things within a year span is just physically not possible. So that's it. So
once again, this extension is for another year.
Yeah, basically, but it's only going to need to be for they start construction 2 months, 3 months, whatever it is. But it's just because that's in the ordinance, we want to make sure everything's following correct protocol, right, Mr. Mack? Yeah.
Well, my question is.
Yes, sir.
The property owner has applied for all the permits to this point. The property owner came to the township and asked for the conditional use and everything.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
I understand.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So we had a meeting in here with the people that are.
Yes, sir.
Are you turning over a pad ready to the developer, or are you're serving as the developer? Explain this process.
Yeah, so the demolition contract is actually through the county. So the county is administering the contract. Our role as engineer is just we do the inspections, we administered any of the paperwork for them, but the county is actually under contract with the contractor to tear down the mall. Now, the landowner has a responsibility, like you said, their role in this is applying for the development of the property once it's down. So a third party, technically a third party entity who's taking down the mall is basically putting in a position where that time frame of the 1 year within the ordinance can't be met. So, yes, sir. So then the role is that once that property is taken down and that property is pad ready for the end user.
So the property owner is going to make it a pad ready site. Is that correct?
So once the demolition is complete, yes, it is on the landowner to provide the pad.
Okay.
For the, yes.
Well, then I guess my question to the solicitor is, this developers agreement, shouldn't it be with the Costco company or their people?
Yes.
And we met with them and not with you, because.
He's an engineer, can't be with him.
Well, no, but not with he, but he represents the property owner.
Correct. Yes, sir.
And the property owner applied for the conditional use, but the conditional use isn't for the property owner. The conditional use is for the new owner, which is going to be Costco.
Yeah. So as a conditional use, it was an application for a land use permit, which was the conditional use to have a warehouse
So
club.
that's going to be changing. So is everything going to be going into Costco's name or whoever the holding company is that does their development and owns their real estate?
Yes. So as the business agreement would go through, as soon as it is pad ready, they sign off on the pad. The business deal is struck. They purchase the property. All development rights go to Costco.
Well, I mean, you've been to enough South Strabane meetings to know developers tend to forget to do things. And, that's just, I guess that's accepted procedure. Catch me if you can. But I think that our developers agreement needs to be with who's going to be actually building the building and doing all that.
Correct. Yeah.
That's what we talked about before the meeting.
And I'm here also I'm under contract with Costco as well too. So I'm not just
Good, then you
representing them.
can see to it that that's all done.
Correct. Yes, sir.
I got his card.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any further discussion?
I do have one. other
Yes, sir.
question. So you're going to be meeting with TJ tomorrow, whatever. Okay, so the question I have is, usually it's the prerogative, it's procedure of this township that the cost of the engineer to meet with you and all that's being borne by your owner, whoever your client is. So are we doing that? Are we taking the bills? Because that's all being taken care of.
Yeah, they have an escrow account that we
Yep.
built.
So how much so we have enough escrow to meet the cost of our engineer? Because in the past, we paid for all these different meetings. So in the past couple of years, it's now being paid for by.
Yeah, correct. Yes, sir.
Okay.
As part of the approvals and the conditions you put on the
All
initial
right.
approval.
So
Yes,
I'm
sir.
just gonna make sure.
Thank you.
Because other places represent, they don't follow up on it.
Now, TJ bills us and lets us know what each meeting's for, so we bill
Okay,
it
good.
appropriately to the escrows.
All right. That's all I have. That's all I have.
I'm glad you're going to be doing the engineering for Costco.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, it's a good deal across the board. We continue our relationship and we make sure that everything is up to par. And then you have a
You've been
face.
very on board and upfront with everything.
Appreciate you,
I
Mr. Moore.
appreciate that.
No, appreciate you. That's how we want to do it.
Any further discussion?
Thank you.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-0. D, motion to accept the South Strabane Township audit for financial year 2025. Mr. Cypher. Pull that down. Pull the microphone. Yeah. There you go.
Evening Supervisors. Thanks for inviting us here tonight. All of you received a draft copy of the audit report. As you know, we are missing information from the Pennsylvania Municipal Retirement System. It makes excuses for the state, so we won't. But in any event, we have a presentation for you. I'd like to follow along with that.
Give me a nod or something when you choose.
Okay,
Let me know.
that'll be fine. Well, so we'll go to the next slide. Why we're here, folks, is Pennsylvania Township Code requires us to be here. We do an annual audit of the township's financial statement. In this case, it's the year ended December 31st, 2025. The important thing to keep in mind, financial statements are prepared on the modified cash basis of accounting. Remember that term, because we're going to come back around to that. The statements are the responsibility of the township manager. Our job is to work for the board of supervisors, indirectly the public. We use general accepted auditing standards to conduct an audit. The opinion that you're going to receive this year, when we get all the information, will be unmodified. It's exactly what you expect to see. Anything less than that would be unacceptable. Page 3. General fund finished last year with some $1,301,000 of current assets. Most of that cash and investments, $1,158,000. We have a small amount of money, $142,000 due from other funds. Small amount of accounts payable, almost $12,000. The fund balance at the end of the year, $1,289,000. The park reserve is $16,225, and the traffic impact fee reserve $55,400. The unreserved fund balance is $1,218,000. We have several other funds, liquid fuel which is our share of the state road tax, gas money, 323,000, the drug investigation fund, 62,000 capital projects, almost 57,000, and the fire protection fund, 276. We're going to talk about fund balance for a bit. Why we talk about fund balance, it's three very important things to the supervisors and the township itself. Two working capital. The money is slow because it's not a normal time to collect taxes. This is where you get the money to pay the bill. It's also your contingency fund. Have a major catastrophe, have a flood, have a tornado, whatever it might be. This is where you're going to go to pick up the funds on the short term. The last thing is gives the board of supervisors the ability to do the job the taxpayers put you here for, which is to make the township better tomorrow than it is today. That money in the bank, as we all know in our own households, it's hard to do. You need a fund balance. When we turn to page 5, this is a multi-year history of the fund balance. It varies by year, varies by quality of the economy, varies by economic type event. Right at the end of COVID, the fund balance was almost at an all-time low. But last 4 years, it's been climbing steadily as it should. And we're going to show you on this next graph why that's the case. For townships of our size, 10% of the current year budget, and that's the 2026 budget that you're operating under now, 15%, 20%. The decision how much the fund balance is strictly the supervisor. But you have to make sure you've got plenty of money there to do the things you want to do. We're right, as you can see, the gold bar represents what you have now, that 1,218,000. You draw a line across. We're right about the mid-range of recommended fund balance. Do we need it to be higher? That's your decision. When we look at the next page, how do we get to this point? Last year, we brought in almost $9 million in the general fund. Spent 8.8. Fund balance went up 131,000. With regard to the budget, we brought in about 582,000 more than we thought we would. The largest variance was in local enabling taxes. We were significantly over budget in real estate transfer tax. This is a tax you cannot predict. I have no idea whether you're going to sell your house this year and should I put it in the budget. So we take that when we get it, and it's a nice benefit. But it can also go the other way that we don't get anywhere near what we budget. So actual operating expenses were under budget last year by 151,000. The largest over expenditure was noted in public safety and highway and street expenditure. The largest under budget variances, capital outlay and fire capital expenditure. When we go to page 8, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this. This is budget to actual. We just did it in the macro sense, but what you can see, the second set of bars over, where the blue represents the actual, the green, the very light green, represents the budget. That's those local enabling taxes, and they're much better than we thought. The rest of them, pretty much normal. We'll go to page 8, page 9. These are expenditures. You can see those under budget areas. Public safety, we did spend less than we thought we would. We spent less in streets and highway, a little bit less in employee benefit. General government was a bit more expensive than we budgeted for. What I'd like to do is skip pages 10 and 11. This is simply comparing 24 to 25. This represents total public safety expenses by category. What you can see here, the biggest piece of pie The police department wages and benefit, $2,029,000. Fire department, just a bit over $1 million, $1,017,000. All the other pieces of the pie in the upper quadrant there represent a variety of things, repairs and maintenance, supplies, so on and so forth. When we turn to page 13, employee benefits expenses, and this is all employee benefits across the board. The largest purple represents Medicare, unemployment, workman's comp, pension expense, $1,253,000. All the other parts, public safety health benefit, 355, general insurance, 78,000, fire department health benefits, 151,000. Streets and highway expense, the biggest blue piece, almost 60%. Public work, wages and benefits, 594,000. Repairs and maintenance, 228. And these are five general fund. Unexpended for fuel, or some capital projects. It would not be shown in there. But supply, road construction, 121. The last page is page 15. We issued you a management letter. This is our opportunity as your auditor to give you some concluding comments. There's a number of categories here. We're going to go through them quickly. We talked about fund balance. It's really important, folks. Make sure you keep your fund balance stable. You might consider fund balance policy. We've recommended this as our management letter. Not all governments have these. Where they do have them, they kind of work out well. It alleviates the decision making, the uncertainty decision making that can happen when financial affairs change quickly. Investments and cash management, always an important thing. PMRS pension reporting, we mentioned that once here. The audit is a draft because we don't have this case information. The biggest single thing that we want to recommend this year, governmental accounting is a complicated thing. We can do what we're doing now and what we have been doing for decades. And that's using the modified cash-based accounting. Basically, that means money in and money out. It's not a revenue unless we collect it, and it's not an expenditure unless we spend it. And that's fine if all we're looking at is 1 year. But when you're South Strabane Township, there's a lot going on here. You just drive through, you can see that. You have two major highways and what I would call a third major highway, Route 19. We might even call 136 a major highway, depending on how you drive. But here's the deal. In order to look 1, 3, 5 years, 10 years ahead, which you can't do your jobs as township supervisors unless you have financial statements which represent GASB 34, which is not only that cash basis of accounting, but full accrual basis statement, which represent every asset that we have, every liability we owe, and what's the real difference. In order to do that, we need to adopt GASB 34. There are a number of neighboring governments that do this. It provides their supervisors with good information, it provides their council with good information if it happens to be above. We strongly suggest it. Bookkeeping matters. There were a number of things that were mentioned in the management letter, improvements in all these areas. Escrow accounting better than it was before. Credit card reporting better than it was before. Regulatory matters, the state annually tells us what we're supposed to bid. Those are now adjusted for inflation. Mr. Maker and I can remember when it was $5,000, and we're like shaking our heads over the project that is done that isn't $5,000. So we're in a little bit better shape because the state recognized that. The last thing I'll talk to you about is called risk management. Folks, it's the most important job. That you make sure that South Strabane assets are protected, that you spend those assets properly, and at the end of the day, you can tell somebody what you did. From a financial standpoint, when you get an unmodified opinion from the auditor, that's financial evidence that you're doing that job. But your job certainly goes much more beyond that. What do we need to do to make the road safe, make sure that the public is safe, that there's a lot to risk management. But we always emphasize this because every bit of our lives is making sure that we're doing it properly. The last thing we'd like to say is thank you very much. We appreciate your opportunity to be the auditor. If you have any questions, we're here. You know, call us on the phone. But thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Would you please send Pete a digital copy of the actual audit so we don't have to?
You will get whenever it switches from draft and the state provides us that information. Mr. Manager, do you
Yes.
know if they have sent that out over yet? You haven't gotten
No,
it?
we haven't gotten anything yet from the state. No.
Hopefully it'll be within the month of June, but as soon as it comes in, we will put that in and we'll get a formal copy of the audit. It will not change substantially from what you have.
Okay. And thank you for meeting with us and spending the time to go over things that you did. It was much appreciated and very helpful.
Thank you all very much.
Yes, thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor of accepting the audit, say aye.
Make a motion.
Yeah, we made the motion and we took, didn't it?
No, I think he just came up.
He just came up.
Yes, make a motion.
Okay, motion to accept the audit for 2025. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Thanks,
I'll
Russ.
second it.
Thanks, Bob. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-0. Letter C, motion to approve the South Strabane ordinance for concerning noise and dust. Some more information has come to light. Did you want to?
Well, I mean, this Rumbaugh had some issues about the time. That's pretty much concerns. I mean, I think we have, if that's something, if you have any questions, maybe you just want to table this to the 9th. You can do that.
Yeah, I want to make sure that it matches
Sure.
everything so that
Yeah, that's my.
we got to
concern,
be
too.
consistent.
Yeah.
Correct. But again, what I took, you have a noise and dust ordinance, and I just modified that. Now, if there's something else besides that situation, I'll take a look at it, but we can just table that today if you want to.
Yes.
Okay, let's table that.
Let's table
Is
that.
that your motion?
So, motion to a table the ordinance.
Russ just tabled.
He made the mo,
Yeah, I'll second.
okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
But we will vote on it the night of the hearing with the data center, correct?
9.
Yeah, that'll be put on the agenda for the 9th,
9th. Yep.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Motion to accept the resignation of Public Works employee. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 5-0. Motion approving the advertisement of a driver and equipment operator for the Department of Public Works. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thanks, Russ.
Should we add labor to that too? I think labor should be in there, so
The word labor
labor.
in the motion?
In the motion, driver, equipment operator, labor.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever the job description
Yeah.
It's in the job description.
Okay.
Is it?
should
Okay.
match.
Yep.
Good idea.
Yes.
Well, them being union, I don't want them coming in thinking they're gonna jump the backhoe while someone's been there for 30 years, and jumps in a hole with a shovel. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So they should be aware of it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-0. Motion to accept the resignation of part-time firefighter.
Make that motion.
I'll
Second. Any discussion? Captain Brown, did you have anything? Who? Oh, is he? Okay. Chief, did you have anything you wanted to talk about on this?
Nope, one of our part-time firefighters accepted a position in South Carolina as a full-time firefighter, so accordingly, he has resigned.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-0. Motion approving the promotion of a current part-time firefighter to fill a full-time vacancy within the Department of the Fire and Emergency Services. Chief, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
Sure, we've had a full-time vacancy for several months since we had 2 firefighters leave in 2025 to go to Mount Lebanon Fire Department. We recently ran a process to interview 3 current part-time firefighters for potential promotion. We had a board of 6 people on the interview panel. I actually kept myself out of it since there were 3 current employees. So that included Chief Richer from the city of Washington, Chief Wolford from Cecil, Assistant Chief Winter, Captain Zeffinger and Brown, and Township Manager Stefanski. And after that process, firefighter Luke Melville came in number 1 on the scores, and we are suggesting that he be appointed to a full-time status.
Okay, thanks, Chief.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Russ. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Jeff. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-0.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Chief. Public comment time, general. The Township Board of Supervisors allocates up to 3 minutes during this item for those individuals who would like the opportunity to address the Board of Supervisors on any matter.
I have 2 people signed up.
Okay. thank you.
First is Jim Kearns.
Good evening, Jim Cairns, Morgan Drive, which is in the Bradford Run subdivision. So much of what I came here to kind of bring up tonight was already discussed to varying degrees during the township managers or township engineers report. I do appreciate your recurring commitment to kind of shake that file loose to the top of the pile. I understand there's a lot of priorities going on right now. One thing I will say, just kind of bringing some information that I have, TJ's letter is sometimes, well, it was dated sometime in the end of March or very early April. So we are right near about 60 days where he has not received a response. The manager has not received a response. Nobody's received a response. I understand we're going to send it out certified so we can prove that they got it now. We're obviously going to have to give them some more time to respond to that. But at that point, we should be prepared to bring some sort of action to enforce the developers agreement. They still hold 2 board seats on our HOA. His representative, his local representative, just met with us kind of within a couple weeks ago. He acknowledged that he did not receive the letter. He was not listed on one of the copies that got to. I did forward him a copy of it, so at least he's seen it. He hasn't acknowledged it. They continue to reaffirm that they intend to commit to finish building there. Since February, they've always said that their intention is to come to Pittsburgh and that they're going to meet with South Germain Township. And I believe that actions have always spoken louder than words. You're not difficult to get a hold of. You have phones, you have emails. They could easily get in touch with you if they want to. I think it says more than anything that they have not done that. So whenever we send the certified letter, I think we next need to be prepared, whatever action Dennis believes is necessary.
Can you do us a favor? Can you send us, or send me and Pete, a concise statement of what's gone on in the past 3 months? Because you keep talking about somebody being on this new board and so forth and what's happening. So at least I can refer back to that.
Okay,
You
yeah.
got- You have my email address.
Yeah, just reaffirm what he's told the HOA is what I'll
Yeah,
say.
I want to know who it is.
Sure.
You know, who this person is and so forth. And I'll put you at the top of my list in June.
Okay.
Can we request a time after the certified letter's been sent? A response? We want to hear from you
Yeah.
in 2
Well,
weeks.
I'll see the letter and I might send it
10
this
days,
time.
15 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take a look at the letter TJ sent. Send me, can you resend it to me?
Yeah.
Well, I may send a letter this time and just say you got so many days, otherwise we'll pursue the appropriate legal remedy.
It was very concise. My compliments to the sheriff.
The declaration covenant, if you all read about it, you understand it real well, the covenant you have down there?
For the HOA?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, now, when you read through it, why do they still have people on the board representing?
So.
Have you figured out the percentages and so forth?
Yeah, we have, and it's.
We have, most of the project completed or?
No.
what percentages?
No, that's the problem.
No, I don't mean that. I'm talking about percentage wise.
No, not percentage wise.
You
So.
don't meet that yet?
No, actually, we don't even meet the criteria to have the majority of the control of the board. Through an attorney, we were able to kind of get majority control of the board. They still retain 2 seats. And
How many seats are on it now?
there's 5 total seats. 3 of them are homeowners. They still hold 2 seats. And it was our council's opinion that there's something else in there. That's either a state statute or basically something, but it says 10 years. So at 10 years from the date that the first unit was conveyed to somebody other than the declarant, all control is supposed to go to us. So that date has not occurred yet. That'll be towards the end of November of this year.
So when you give me that letter, that statement, I want to know who these 2 people are, where they live, so.
Sure. Yeah, I can do that.
So the HOA is bumping up against that 10-year.
Correct, yeah. So our advice that we were given was to hold an election at our annual meeting, and those 2 new seats will take effect on that 10-year date.
Good.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Judy.
Judy Panasic, Green Crescent Drive. I want to start by saying, and I don't know how many people in here are aware of this. I don't know if some of you up there knew who I'm talking about. There was a passing in our community in the last, I think it happened in the beginning of May, end of April. I forget that she was the animal enforcement officer. What was her title though? Yeah, but what was her title?
Kathy died?
Yeah, Kathy passed away. They actually did a yard sale and then 2 days later she had passed. But she has a title, Cynthia. You mean yeah, and so she had her own thing. She did it all. She wasn't paid. People raised funds for her, did fundraising constantly for Kathy. She went out there. She was a big part of the community, rescuing animals, dogs, everything, years, and she passed away. There was no obituary. But I think that this township should do something to honor her. She lived up in Floral Hill. She did it all out of the goodness of her heart and believing it was the right thing to do. Like, so this was not a paid position. Nobody paid her. And she saved a lot of animals and brought a lot of joy to a lot of people's lives. And it was out of nowhere and a sad passing. And I would like to see this township do something. I don't care. I think if you even ask the residents to donate, to put something in the park or do something for her, the back wall. I mean, she wasn't a paid employee, but she's better than that. She did it for free. She did it because it meant something to her.
Hey, Judy, how long has she been doing this?
I'm
familiar with Kim Secret.
No, Kathy doesn't get paid. Kim gets paid. Cynthia.
Cunningham's been doing it for
But Kathy, I was working with Kathy on projects back in the early 2000s. So she has operated very much under the radar.
It's all abuse and hoarding.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was good.
Yeah, she was.
She was very quiet about it, but she worked every day of her adult life as once she type of training and became a unique police officer, which requires professional training in Harrisburg, passing tests, and then you must work for a not-for-profit. And so she established a not-for-profit called CRICAT, and I forget what that stands for, CRICAT. And she would work with large animals, small animals, and really all over creation. She would house them until she could find owners or placements for them. And she was very, very good. Kinsa Creek does other things, and Kinsa Creek does things very, very well also.
But Kathy was she did live in our community and was a big part of it. And I just think the township should acknowledge that in some way, shape or form. I think a lot of like I said, a lot of the residents don't even know. A friend of mine texted me something that was on Facebook or I wouldn't have known. And I did try to reach out to somebody who worked with her that lives in Amwell to try to find some stuff out because she also houses the dogs. But I just, like I said, I think the township should do something for Kathy. I know that they talked tonight a lot about the money and everything. And, you know, I don't care how much money we have or how much we went over. We have a fire tax that we shouldn't have. We have a fire tax that other townships don't have. We have what is it, Jeff? Second highest millage in the county.
We might have crept to third now.
Okay, so that's not a thing. You don't want a bronze medal for that. But you know, I think that we need to look. I think the public doesn't know how much that has been done. I don't think, you know, everybody thinks I love standing up here. I don't. I'm just the one who gets the phone calls and people calling me, and I get the complaints, and I'm nobody. But you know, I know that there have been a lot of new things with the credit cards, and you guys have really clamped down on spending that has been overspent. But I just would like to throw through a few things in here. I think that you still need to get rid of the fire truck that we never needed. That would be a huge, huge help to this community to get rid of something that we don't need. We can't afford a comprehensive plan. The comprehensive plan is more important than that fire truck. The comprehensive plan needs to get all this fixed and all these, you know, we talk about nobody in this township wants more development. We moved here to not live in Monroeville. We moved here because we wanted a quality of life. And when you guys run, that's what you say. Quality of life comes first. And that's what people vote for. That's what they want. And we're turning this into Allegheny County. And the residents here want to move and they don't like it. That is not what we want. We don't want 400 homes in Meadows Landing. We don't like the mess that's going to be when Dennis talks about high tension and blood pressure, noise. What do you think happens when you have 400 homes that close together? And there's another concern of that is that are there's going to be rental properties? We have the issue with the HOA tonight. We have the issue with the HOA at Strabane Manor. When are we going to stop allowing HOAs in our community and these things to go through? Like this is bad. This is bad. It's getting worse. We haven't learned from our lessons. Rental properties create more crime. They create more problems when homes are close together. Same thing. Like it's the worst case scenario is going to be what could be going on at Meadows Landing. And, you know, is there anything in the HOA thing or in the developer's agreement about limiting the rental properties of those 400 units? I think that's really important. Are we getting the money for all the rentals in this township? Did anybody check into that? Did anybody see if we're getting that money? Let's see here. The township also, if we're so broke and we're so poor, we shouldn't be paying for anybody to take any trips at all, including going to a supervisors conference where Dave McCormick can try to get everybody to try to want data centers. I mean, we need to, my grandmother used to say, penny makes a dollar. I also have an issue that we were at a zoning hearing board meeting, which Jeff's ghost apparently was at because three of us thought we saw you there, Jeff. I swear to God, I thought you were there too. At the zoning hearing board meeting, you know,
No, but I ain't quite made it there.
I swear to God, I thought you were there. But you know, we have somebody who's not even a resident trying to get away with coming in and putting something on a piece of property that shouldn't be there. And then I hear from another resident that our paid employees might be helping them. Like, why are any of our paid employees helping somebody with any zoning or businesses or anything? Like we should not be helping somebody who's trying to get away with changing an area and the residents overwhelmingly spoke out against it, and to try to figure out a way to help them to get that zoning done. That is wrong. That's my tax dollars. Help me, not them. They're not even living here yet. And even if they do, it's not under conditions that they should be. Sorry, I write a lot of notes while I'm sitting there thinking. We got covered meadows, Leah, Kathy, the comprehensive plan too is another thing that, we have O'Neill. He lives right here. He lives right up the street. We can all walk there right now if we'd like. And let's ask for this comprehensive plan money. Whatever it takes for us to get this, we need to get this done. And our argument should be is that we're the ones putting out the money for police force and a great police force, Drew. I would never get rid of our police force, but we've got North Franklin and Canton Township, and I get complaints about Canton's whatever is going on there with their department, fake department. But they're building new buildings and they're building new playgrounds, and you've got all these other communities around us who are not paying for the fire and the safety that our township's paying for, and then going out to other communities. A comprehensive plan, what, $30,000? Pete, how much?
I just talked to Amwell. They're about $100,000 right
now.
Yeah.
Because the last one we did was less than that.
Can we apply for a comprehensive plan grant to the state LSA?
Possible, I need to look into it.
Every issue that we have going on in our township goes back to a comprehensive plan and changing the things. If we don't do that, everybody quit the board and everybody quit coming. We're just wasting our time. We've got to get that done. And that needs to be done sooner rather than later. And I think you guys would all agree with that. Our last one was a nightmare and should have never been passed. We were the only township that passed Carolyn Yeagle's plan. And that's what put in all these high density housing that nobody wanted, that were at the meetings. That's where this all came out of. We have to get this changed or we're in trouble. Anyway, I know 3 minutes. But again, if you could do something for Kathy Cunningham, I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you.
Anybody else? That's
I
it.
would just like to make one comment. I'm property manager at Thomas Campbell Apartments. In 2021, I lost a resident because we didn't have that fire truck. Had we had that truck, she may still be alive. How much do you value somebody's life? There's not a value in anybody's life. That's all I want to say.
Okay. Does the supervisors have anything to? Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Linda Rumbaugh, Burrell Drive. This fossil fuel electric generating facility, are we going to get a copy of that ordinance? Will that be posted online for us to read?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Except for you.
Can I ask something too?
Sure.
Diane Ecker, Terra Drive. And I just wanted to say I'm thrilled that we are getting ordinances in place with everything, with the fossil fuels, with the data center. I was wondering if we were doing anything with a gas injection well ordinance for thought. And the other note I had is I think in putting things in place, a comprehensive plan is really important to just make it all work the way we want it to.
In some communities right now, we're putting together, I think we've drafted for Union Township, an injection well ordinance that, I think that's coming up over there. So I just sent something over to them about that. I spent a lot of time drafting ordinances, by the way, but the injection well ordinance is something that we may want to consider down the road. What it does is carbon capture situations.
Yeah.
See, what people don't realize is that this is all coming together. You have, we have a data center ordinance, which I think is pretty decent.
Very strong.
And we have a noise ordinance, which works with the data center ordinance. And then we have the fossil fuel ordinance. See, and our interest has to be for the public, right? The people that live in this township.
And the
That's what we have to
safety
worry
and
about.
health.
What's that?
Their safety and health.
Correct. I mean, if you read, gave the supervisors 3 different articles I read over the weekend dealing with noise and the implication with noise in terms of the people.
Mhm.
And they're saying 65 decibels even too high at the boundary because it does cause high blood pressure. And these are studies. You all have to just go online and read these articles.
Every day there's some other horror coming out that's
But we're doing
associated with
everything.
it
We're
all.
moving forward.
Okay.
I mean, and I think that the injection well, if the board wants, I'll provide you a copy of what we're doing down in Union Township. Union Township seems to always be moving first before anyone else does.
Just makes sense to get everything, all our ducks in a row. Thank you.
Yeah. Um, I want everybody to know that you have no idea how much effort's been put forth on these ordinances from members of the community, from the Board of Supervisors, from the solicitor. It's been a collective effort, and it does change every day. It changes every day. The data, better data, improved data, it changes every day. And we're going to probably pass the most cutting edge data center ordinance probably in the region. And it's still going to be obsolete in 2 weeks because there's going to be more studies done. And I'm very, I'm very disappointed, but every time we've tried to work with, you can hit me when you want me to shut up. You can,
Less is
I'm
best,
looking,
Judge
I'm
Gilmore.
looking, I'm looking at the solicitor. Every time we sit down and meet with the property owner, all we hear when we're done is, well, if we don't like it, we're going to have to take you to court. I'm to the point, one, where I am tired of hearing that. Number two, I really don't give a damn what it costs if it means protecting our residents. And I think everybody, if you want to worry about a tax increase, it's going to be for paying him. But we're not only protecting our residents, we're protecting our property value, because nobody wants to live in a place that's not safe. And I hope that the community, everybody wants to get on Facebook, everybody wants to get on Marketplace, everybody wants to get on Craigslist, everybody wants to get on every site known to man for everything known to man, good or bad. And everybody, the young people all want the data center ordinances. Well, young people haven't figured out they're not going to live near as long as I have, and if they're living close to a facility that's not monitored, that does any type of work similar to that, they're not going to live that long anyway. They're going to be in a crazy house. And I just think that it's important that the residents understand. And it's like I've said so many times in the past, yeah, we're here to protect South Strabane, but I always looked at it this way. I'm a resident of this community. In my opinion, this community is North Strabane, Amwell, Nottingham, City of Washington, East Washington, North Franklin, Canton Township. From what we're reading, the effects of this, when it's all said and done, can reach that far. So I'm going to publicly ask that our neighbors, when they're considering ordinances, that they have the South Strabane residents in mind. And I'm going to tell them that I want them to understand we've had their residents in mind. And I think that's important.
Thank you. So perfect. I know, I'm not, Diane, you might know more than me. Emerald Township just did theirs, did they not, an ordinance?
They got tabled.
They stopped it.
They got tabled.
Because they mentioned it, they wanted, someone there mentioned South Strabane Township's setback.
Okay, I just wondered, because I didn't know if you talked to them the other. I just knew that was like, people were going to that and talking.
I think they tabled it.
Well, I hate to say this, I've said it in the past, that same group of residents or same area, we provide a lot of protection of every type to a lot of our neighboring communities. And we've provided a lot of good quality legal work to our neighboring communities. I just hope that, we got to have them. They're a fact of life, but they need to be done safely. And it's that simple. And you know what? If they want to come after our work and the data and the ordinance that we've done, have at it. But I want you people to understand it's all about protecting the residents, period.
Okay, just one thing. There was nobody from the fire department here at the last meeting, but I personally wanted to thank Paul and Captain Brown for your hospitality when we had our hearing at the fire department. You guys stepped up and helped out, and the facility was clean, and I really appreciate all you did that night. It was not unnoticed, and I appreciate your efforts. As far as this data center, folks, you have to understand that I have done more reading and studying and, with data centers. And like Jeff said, the information that's coming is, and then we're hearing quantum computing data centers, which is a whole nother, I don't even think one's even been built yet, but so please know that we are, trying to incorporate an inclusive and, thorough ordinance for this. And I took the ordinance and threw it into ChatGPT, which is AI, and it came back and said it was a very good ordinance. So I was impressed with that. But the property owner, every time I have a talk with him, it's laced with threats. And they want to have a meeting before the 9th, and we're going to try to do that, but
Take 'em with you.
we'll see where it
Take 'em
goes.
with
But
you.
please know that we are looking out for your best interest. That's what we were elected to do. Thank you. Anybody else? Make a motion to adjourn. Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.